Hello guys, welcome to the next episode of Lady? Oh no. Late Friday night Banter Blitz. Okay, so the start was already very promising to be honest. Yep. But so today there should be interesting show I guess because there are not so many challenges, but once I said that, actually the quantity started increasing. But anyways, and there are a lot of people in chat. That is very nice. Thanks a lot for understanding for this light version that happened actually during normal time for training Tuesday, last Tuesday of course. So instead of training Tuesday, I was doing again this Banter Blitz, of course not late Friday nights edition, but still it was hour and a half. And well, in the sense of the quality of chats I demonstrated, it was not very good because I just came from the lost tournament, absolutely lost one in Karlsruhe. It was Grenke Chess Open. So if compared to Tuesday, today I feel much better, so I will try to play better chess. And I do hope there will be much more instructive moments because I'm here not only to play, but rather to teach you. All right. So since it is just a regular episode of late Friday night's Banter Blitz, I had to train to say this sequence of words. Then it means the normal rules applied. So we start with a few games played with newcomers, and then we come back to the normal order one by one. And actually, let me know if everything is fine with the stream. All right. As far as I understood, everything is okay. But anyways, will be just nice if you will give me the notice. Let's go. So, yeah, there are a lot of challenges now. Okay. So let's come back to the very beginning because I saw a very nice challenger. So Fuchsia, actually we have never played 5-minute game, premium member, so everything says I have to accept. So I accept. Here we go. Let's do it. All fine, Andre. All okay. Okay, great. So I'm playing with black. And Fuchsia, you're welcome. You're welcome to start. E4. Okay, no experiments with Fuchsia. Let's play e5. Knight f3, knight c6. So, well, maybe I will do some experiments today. A bit later. Okay, d3. Well, overprotection. Very solid. So actually, I guess white wants to play the Philidor reversed. Alright, maybe it makes sense. So let's just keep developing the pieces. G3. Okay. I guess there is a possibility to play d5 and even to take with the queen. Not quite sure, but let's try it. So d5. Knight e2. White doesn't want to take. Okay. D takes e4, D takes e4 gives me nothing, of course. Well, not so much, I mean. Bishop c5. Not quite sure. What about h6? Kind of flexible move, right? Going g5 and maybe intending to play bishop e6 with the simple development. And now I wanted to try the following, just to play queen d7. And this is kind of experiment, I think, because I'm going to castle long. Maybe too optimistic. But okay, let's try it. Rook e1. Continuing in this relaxed fashion. G5 maybe, or bishop d6, just developing the piece, completing the development of pieces. But I think that my bishop will be better placed on c5, in fact. So maybe this is a good moment just to take on e4. Yeah, let's take it. Just to prevent white's e takes d5 activating the rook. And now bishop to c5. Right? Yeah, looks interesting. Maybe again a bit too optimistic. For example, b4. What am I supposed to do? Just bishop b6, right? Because I don't think bishop takes f2 gives me anything. Bishop d4 is not good. Well, it's valuable, but doesn't look like the best decision. So bishop b6, probably b5 attacking my knight, and then e5 will be heading. But I'm not sure it will be heading for sure. So let's go away. Bishop b2. All right. So e5 is attacked now, for sure. Knight g4 looks normal at counter-attacking. Yep, let's do it. f2 is under attack now. Rook f1. So maybe just f6 now, protecting e5. Yeah, it's important to keep this pawn on the board, of course. And now I think I can take on f2, rook takes f2, and I take on h3. So I grab 2 pawns already for 2 minor pieces against the rook. Yeah. So let's try it. h5 was probably also the idea, but I didn't see the follow-up. And here, I'm not in a hurry to take on f2. I can do it next move, I think. So let's start with the bishop h3. Interesting. And since the bishop on b2 is not that great, I mean, it is limited with my pawns f6, e5. Oh, this drops d2 knight. So actually I can take on g2 first. Then I will take on d2. There was a blunder. Alright, so I can take on f2, then on d2, I can take on d2 immediately. I will just... I don't know, what is better? Queen takes d2 is probably better. Yeah. Looks good. This wins immediately. So actually knight should have stayed on f3, but I guess black had very promising position in that case. But of course it was better not to drop the knight this way. This inevitably leads to losing more material, of course. So let's take on c2, exploiting the pin. The bishop should go to a1, I think, because if it goes to c1, then I take on f2 with the bishop, and then I take the bishop on c1. Yeah, it's lost. All right, not that bad actually for the first time playing against me. So d3, well, probably playable thing, of course, no problems with that. The other thing is that it's probably not very ambitious. So after knight f6, g3, I think black simply has no problems already. So after d5, knight e2, well, almost everything leads to, I think, equal position, maybe already slightly better for black from a psychological point of view. But I decided to try this thing with gasoline lawn, and probably here it was better for white. Well, okay, a3 was okay, but after castling I do believe that instead of rook e1 it was better just to take on d5. And we have definitely sort of reversed Philidor position, but usually there is the pawn on f6. Well, if white plays with white against Philidor, it will be f3, of course. So we deal with the reversed version. And here I think rook to e1. Just a typical thing. So counter-attack in e5. Maybe intending to play knight c4. There is also a plan connected with c4, b4, and so on. So normal Philidor play. Because after rook e1 immediately, as we can see, I just take on e4 and the rook remains, well, passive. That's the problem. And black has no problems with completing the development here. So maybe bishop c5 wasn't the best move. Maybe just g5 was a bit better. But even bishop c5 looks okay. Because if you play b5 here, I just go away with the knight. And knight e5 is not a threat in the view of queen d4, right? And then f2 will be handing the rook and the pawn on the knight on e5 and so on. And if you play bishop b2, yes, I have this interesting knight g4 and f6. So probably h3 was not forced, but if you don't play h3, of course I play h5 myself, then g5, and so on. Maybe knight to h4 deserved attention here. Intended knight g6 or maybe knight f5. Not sure. But I can play g5 here, I guess. So, oh, come on. What am I talking about? Knight on d2 is hitting. Come on. I'm just blind. Sorry. So, of course, it doesn't work. Don't know. Maybe queen to e2, something like that. Yeah, queen to e2 deserves attention with the idea of rook d1, with the idea of c4, and so on. h3 just gives me a chance to take on f2, then to take on h3, and now, well, this annoying pin. And black has very simple play, just to play g5, h5, just open and files against the king and so on. But of course, knight h4 was a decisive mistake. So after that, black is just winning on the spot. All right, not bad, not bad. Let's go further. Who is the next? So, Captain Awesome from Austria. We have never played premium user. 5 minutes random accept. Looks like a good choice. E4. And French defense. All right, let's play it. Yeah, Karamnik student says, aha, Andre might still blunder today. He suggested knight h4. That's true. That's true. I don't see the board completely. So. Good old line. Well, I'm not sure that it is good, but it is definitely old. And a3 against bishop d7 is definitely not the best reaction. I do remember that, but, well, it's Blitz, okay? It's not very important. I think b4. That is the point behind a3. Just to get rid of nasty problems with the b2 pawn that appear inevitably when black plays queen to b6. And here I like to put my bishop on e3. Just provoking black to take on e3, which opens up the f-file. And sometimes it leads to interesting attacks. Let's see. Bishop e7, now bishop to d3. Fuchsia says, I learned King's Indian attack just today in preparation for Adhiban. Yes. King's Indian attack. Makes sense. Alright, so here knight c3 almost forces black to take on e3, I think. But in a connection with the f6, which will follow, it's probably not that bad. So sometimes I just can take on f5. In some games I did that. Well, actually, in many games I did that. Is it good here? Not quite sure. Not quite sure. So let's just castle. Let's see what will happen. So I guess black has to take on e3. Yep. And then probably f6. Yeah, very natural approach. I guess white has nothing here already. Okay. So how to fight for squares? b5 is definitely not a move. E takes f6, probably a move. Bishop takes f6 and then, I'm not sure, maybe knight c3. Just continuing the development. Yeah, let's do it. So it takes here. I guess black will take with the bishop because it looks very natural. Yep. Now queen c2 attacking h7. Even g6 is possible, I guess. So let's start with the development of the knight. And I guess it's better to do that through this square because it controls d5. So at least at first glance, a bit stops black from playing immediate e5. I don't like my position, honestly. So black has no problems here. Very good. Well played, Captain Awesome. a6. Okay, let's keep developing the pieces. Rook to c1 looks very natural. Now there is a possibility, I guess, to play knight a4, followed by knight c5, something like that. Queen b3 is also a move. Let's start with this move. Let's see how black will react. Wow, that was a bad pronunciation. All right. React. No. It should sound differently, that's for sure. Oh, Duke Crusher is here. Donji is here. Wallace Shawn is here. Craig Evans. A lot of guys. Constant followers. That is usually very, very good, actually. To see you here, my friends. a5, b5 should be played. Yes, let's play b5. And where the knight goes to e7. Knight to e7. Okay, let's put the queen on b3. So, black probably wanted to play knight f5. So now after queen b3, knight f5 will be well met with bishop takes and queen takes d5. That was the point. And now after b6, I think I can take on c8. But then the knight will take on c8. And I can play e4. Maybe I can play e4 right now. Is it something? Looks very good. Let's try it. All of a sudden, my pieces are placed very, very good for active operations. I think black made several unnecessary moves. So I don't like the idea of playing a6 then a5, first of all. Because white just grabbed the space and... wow, g6. Alright, this gives me a chance to play e5. The other thing, do I want to? If e5, bishop g7 followed by bishop h6, something like this. Let's start with rook c8. Let's see what black is going to do. With which piece to take, first of all? With the bishop, okay. So knight to c3, going back, exerting more pressure, but then d4 will be hanging. So d takes c4 is now a threat. Annoying one, honestly. So let's play e5, all right. Bishop here. How to get to black's weaknesses, I'm not quite sure. Let's try rook to c1. Rook c2. Have to be careful, especially after knight f5. This knight is very annoying. Okay, let's take it. Yeah, position is unclear. But I think I have some chances after penetrating this c6. And my queen now controls e3, preventing this nasty check. So yeah, let's do it. b6 is hanging. Oh, thank you. This square was controlled, as I said. But probably my opponent doesn't look the stream simultaneously with playing, which is very good for me. All right, I actually got absolutely nothing as a result of the opening. So black played very well, this typical f6. By the way, maybe taking with the rook was even more interesting, because after that the bishop can go to d6. But, well, I'm not an expert in French defense for black's side, so not sure what usually a French expert does in such a situation, because bishop f6 looks also good. That's all right. Knight c3, and I think black started making mistakes somewhere here. So a6 was absolutely not necessary, in my opinion. So I don't want to play b5 here. That's for sure, because b5 forces the knight to a5 square from where the knight goes to c4, right? So instead of doing it, I would have played something like immediate rook to c8, or maybe knight e7 followed by knight f5. Another plan is to prepare e5 somehow. So let's say bishop e8 looks also, well, maybe a bit strange, but not that bad. So the bishop can go to h5, for example. d5 is more or less protected, so at some point black can play e5. So position looks just normal, at very least equal, maybe even a bit better long term for playing with black, because black has pair of bishops, right? The question is, did stream buffer, guys, from Kramnik student? I do hope it did not, but it might be. And if it does, it's sad. But okay, let's keep going. So a6 was probably a mistake. After rook c1, rook c8, knight a4. Well, my knight simply goes to c5 now. And after a5, b5, well, black managed to prevent this knight c5. But at the same time, I just grabbed the space. So my position is quite pleasant now. So yeah, so e5, rook c1, and so on. So after bishop h6 and rook c2, by the way, yeah, bishop e3 was interesting immediately. So check, and why I said during the game that I actually have to be careful, because if I play, let's say, king f1, then black can take bishop takes d5. And, well, black is a pawn up already. So I have to play king to h1, and hopefully there is nothing serious, because my bishop controls f1 square, so bishop d4, knight d4 doesn't work. But there is an idea of sacrificing the exchange. So rook takes f3, g takes f3, bishop takes d4. Position is unclear. My knight on a4 is misplaced, pawn e5 is hanging, the pawn structure is bad. Black still has pair of bishops. Well, one of them is not that active, but it's just for now. Maybe it will be activated in the future. The main problem, however, is the e5 pawn, of course, and vulnerability of my king. So especially in the Blitz game, it was kind of natural idea just to try to sacrifice the exchange this way. So that is my recommendation, because, well, knight f5 gave me this c6 square, and after bishop f5, rook f5, rook c6, I can't see the normal way to protect b6 pawn. And my queen now controls e3 and so on. Yeah. All right. So let's keep playing. One more newcomer. Let's see. Already played. Just a sec. Just trying to find the newcomer. Yeah, we played on Tuesday. Craig Evans, United Kingdom, rated 2300s plus, almost 2400s, premium user, never played 5 minutes except. Well, ever since Ascent will be just a great game. Will be just a fight. Let's do it. e4, e5. Knight f3, knight c6. Scotch? No. No Scotch. Yes, indeed. Oh, Belgrade Gambit. Right? Yep. There are two ways of playing it as far as I remember. So the first is just not before something that is just I don't remember how to play that. And another one is just a calm bishop e7 move. So I will try this because I don't remember how to play that. And I just castle. Okay. Can't I just take on e4 here? I don't understand. Maybe not. All right. Knight takes d5 is also a move, followed by bishop f6, I guess. Yeah, let's try just taking this. So I want to do what? I want to replace my knight with the bishop on f6. It shouldn't be that bad for black. Of course, yeah, maybe it's not that ambitious play, but my bishop on f6 will be very good. Yeah, so let's start with the d6, I guess. Just stopping this pawn. And now bishop to f6, very natural. Natural approach. So now how to complete my development. I will probably have some problems with the bishop c8. That's true. But alright. That is the minor issue, I guess. Position should be equal. The other question, do I have some chances to play for a win here? I think I do. Let's stop the bishop from going this easily to c2. a4, okay, a5. Knight to b5. Maybe I will regret that I played this a5. Who knows? I definitely don't want white taking my knight on b6. Damaging my pawn structure. So I have to go back to d7. Looks like a waste of time. But okay, let's do it. At least it is better than having the knight on b6 captured. So well, I'm not sure if I do everything right, because c7 now looks abandoned. But hopefully white still has no advantage. I don't know. Let's play this. Yeah, it feels like I'm being outplayed here. Yeah, queen d4. Very convincing. Very convincing. I think I have nothing better than knight f6. And it starts feeling very, very annoying. Oh, g4, weakening the position. This might be good for me. So I think I can play. Oh no, if I play king g8, then knight c7 is planned. Queen c7, queen takes f6, but maybe it's still good because I have a takes b4. Okay, I do hope I didn't blunder anything, and I didn't. So now to take on b5, or what? But then bishop takes b5, I'm not sure. h5 is also an interesting decision here. Let's see if I can play h5. Very risky. Oh. But it's not possible to win the game without risk. If knight takes c7 now, probably I just play rook c8. Yep. Should be not bad. Just a sample move. Or I can try queen takes c7 and after queen takes f6 takes g4, but then bishop takes g6 at very least. So yeah, I would rather play rook c8. Okay, just sacrificing the pawn, but having some tempi for initiative. Very interesting game. Very interesting game. So I blundered something. I hope I didn't. So rook c8 now goes to b5. d6 is hanging. That is probably what I blundered. It feels like white has no weaknesses. What the hell is going on? H takes g4. Knight takes d6, I take on h3, knight takes c8, bishop takes c8. It looks not very promising for black. Looks interesting, but not enough. Definitely not enough. Don't know what to do. Looks very annoying. Okay. So it was pre-moved. Wow. Very nice. Okay, after all, after knight takes d6, I'm not forced to sacrifice the exchange, but to avoid that, I will have to make a very stupid move like rook b8, probably. Looks bad. But what can I do? I think it's just my only chance. Alright, here I have some interesting ideas like this one. Just attack an h4. Should I sacrifice the exchange or not? Not sure. Let's try to do this without the sacrifice of the exchange. But sacrifice was also interesting. No questions. Oh my god. What to do here? I have no idea. I want to get rid of this knight. It's really annoying. Pawn was protected with the rook. PT. Wow, I have no objects of attack even. Amazing. My God. Yeah, that was amazingly strong. Just very, very strong. Very strong. I don't even know what to do here. So I played just normal variation, of course. But then started doing the thing. So knight b6 was probably not good. So immediate knight c5 followed by a5. Maybe even a5 idea was already not that great. I don't know. Rook e8 followed by knight e5, knight g6, or knight f8, knight g6 was a guy. Yeah. Because here position is still okay. But yeah, when you play Blitz, for example, it's much easier to play such a position with white. So all the moves are quite natural. Yeah. So here h5 was probably too much. So instead it was better for me just to take on b5 maybe. Yeah. Just giving up a bishop, but I don't think what is that better after that. Maybe it was possible just to play something like, I don't know, knight e8, knight g7 even here. But I'm not quite sure. I don't really understand this position, to be honest. So it's very dynamic, a lot of tension here. And of course, to find the best way to play, you need more time. Yeah, but that was very strong. That was very strong. I actually didn't have real chances, so takes here, h4, knight here, knight d6, rook b8, queen takes here. Well, this position is also not clear. It's playable for both sides. So rook d8, rook here. Yeah, maybe bishop f5 is strange. But come on, it's Blitz, right? So I already had not so many times. Oh, 0-2. So I actually lose the second game to this guy. I have to do something with this. All right, challenges. One more newcomer. Sorry. Yeah, that was amazing. That was really amazing. The king's best friend. We have never played. Let's do it. So now the long road back to 2900s. Knight f3, knight c6. Rui Lopes. d3. All right, b5. Bishop b3, bishop e7. Let's try bishop b7 move. I mean, is it possible to play this in this cocky style? I mean, to play d5 now. Let's try d5. I know it's usually not that cool idea, but I have a feeling that it's possible to do against this approach with the bishop on b3 followed by a3, d3 and bishop on e3. So I think instead of bishop e3, knight c3 was more precise. Just controlling d5 square. And here I guess I have some tempi, because seriously now, I mean, it is a good achievement for me because I just managed to grab the key piece of the position. The so-called Spanish bishop. Okay, so now where to go? If queen d6, then knight e4, knight c5. If queen d7, the same problem, so c5 square is weakened. So maybe to d8. Then after knight e4, I will have what? Nothing actually to prevent knight c5, so okay. Maybe just to forget about this. Maybe to play queen e6, knight e4, queen to g6, let's say. Knight to c5, bishop c5, and rook e8. Yeah, interesting, because my bishop b7 will be potentially quite annoying, so let's do it. And now queen goes to g6. I think it is a good position for my queen. I'm still thinking about the previous game, so it's not correct. So I have to focus on this one. Otherwise it might be another disaster. Yeah, newcomers are strong today. Newcomers to the show, I mean, of course. So knight is definitely going to c5. Okay. I'm not that against. Moreover, I can't prevent it, honestly. Okay, Smogs 2006. I'm close to buying a Kindle and starting an ebook collection. What's your thoughts, guys? Books or ebooks? I would say books and ebooks. That is the best combination, the best mix, in my opinion. Okay, what about bishop takes c5, knight takes c5, then knight d4, attacking f3 knight. Is there a defense? Not quite sure. Let's try it. So knight d4 will attack knight f3 2 times. Right? There will be a threat of knight takes f3 with a fork. Should be cool. Let's do it. Just making my bishop active. Bishop b7. Intending to checkmate white on g2, of course. That's the main idea. Well, white resigned. However, there was a possibility, I think, to keep playing, for example, knight to h4 move. I understand that it looks bad, but it was still possible to play, by the way. I'm not sure that I have a direct way to win here. So bishop on b7 is still hanging, and the queen is hanging here. So probably knight f3 is more or less forced. Knight takes f3, bishop takes f3, let's say g3. And maybe here there is no defense, I'm not sure. It looks like that, so light squares are too weak. And there is a simple plan of like queen h5, queen h3 maybe. But there are still some defending resources like rook e3 and so on. So I guess bishop b3 was not correct. So it's an old good line, of course, and I think that it's important to control d5 square. That's the point of white's setup. So knight c3 is better. Just controlling d5, maybe even intending to occupy d5 with the knight. And then you have a choice between occupying d5 or continuing development this way, like bishop e3 and so on. So I can't play d5 here. That's the very important difference to what happened in our game. That is, I think, the main improvement. All right, so enough with newcomers for today's show, and let's go to the normal order. So two next games are against, well, as usual, actually, Mobus and Kramnik students. So let's go. First Mobus. Let's do it. Playing with black. Here we go. So what Mobus will play today? E4. Let's play Sicilian. Knight f3 and what? And e6, let's say. Takes and a6 now. Yeah, bishop d3, kind of best move here, I think. Isn't a guy to play queen c7? Not quite sure, but castles. d6. I have no idea what am I doing here. But I just want to achieve the position of Scheveningen variation somehow. But after c4, of course, it's obviously not possible. So it's like Maroczy bind, very, very good one for white. Good version. Okay. f4. Is it possible to play g6 here? I mean, it looks very risky, but no, it can't be good. That's for sure. Alright, so let's put the bishop on e7, just a normal way of placing the bishop here. Then maybe I will have the time to play b6, bishop b7. Maybe not. Let's see. So I didn't play g6 just because of e5, but maybe it was also possible. I don't know. Let's play b6 and bishop b7. Should be alright. Play this. And now rook to c8. Knight d5 is ready. Come on, I have to castle, right? But then e5. Position looks like shit, to be honest. But maybe there is no immediate checkmate. Let's castle. Okay. Yeah, that's for sure the best move. But I'm not forced to take, right? So I can play this. It looks bad. I know. But I have to do moves. Just to survive it for some time. Now I have the maneuver of like g6, bishop knight to g7, like controlling f5. And I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Okay. Oh. I used to play this when I was a kid. Of course, I forgot everything. And many people think that, well, if white manages to play e5, forcing the knight to e8, it's automatically winning. But it's not, believe me. Just see the game, for example, c18 against Korchnoi. Also in Scheveningen, something like this, with this crappy knight somewhere. And Korchnoi won. Not because he was better than c18, but that was also the factor, but because he gradually improved his position. That's the point. But that's a different story, of course. It's another position. So if I want, I can take, of course, on f3, then to take on e5, but it will be just checkmated after bishop h7, so I think I have to start with the g6. It should be played, for sure, just to prevent the checkmate at least. And now we will see. b3? Seriously? Just intending to occupy e4, probably. Alright. Alright. But this gives me the time, right? Very important time. So knight g7 looks like a move. And taking on a3, taking on e5. No, it doesn't look good. So knight c5, bishop goes away somewhere, then knight to g7, something like that. Let's try it. Controlling e4. And intending to grab this very important bishop. Of course, bishop goes away. Okay. Now knight to g7. My position no longer looks that bad. Actually, I'm fine now. Well, if white plays b4, then c4 starts looking like an object of attack for me. If not, I'll just gradually improve my position, like rook d8, d5 maybe. Maybe b5. Yeah, black's definitely fine now. No attack, no checkmate. That's important. Bishop e3. Okay. f6 is also an interesting idea, by the way. Let's just attack e5 this way. And what about d5? Now d5 looks good. Because the knight on c3 is hanging. Yeah, counterattack. b5 was probably even better, but d5 is definitely okay. And now I have to be faster, because I have only 1 minute Position is still complicated. Position is still complicated. All right. Now I have a great advantage in time. I'm just fine here. And I win in time here. So, yep. Where the knight goes? To h3. Well, here, if knight goes back to f3, I just take it with the bishop. I'm fine with this damaged pawn structure. The knight goes to h3, I'm also happy, actually. So after what it was in the opening, my position now looks very solid, very fine, so I have good pieces. Everything is okay. So typical Scheveningen shit, to be honest. So I just forced white to make active moves, but then if these active moves are not supported with the decisive attack, then these active moves appear just creating weaknesses moves. Something like that. That is the philosophy of Scheveningen and so on. Just force white to make some weakening and then to undermine everything correctly. But I think that white could have won this somewhere here. So that is just too much to play this way. So yeah. So bishop e7, king h1, b6, queen e2, bishop b7, bishop d2, rook to c8, rook to e1. Everything was fine. Castles, e5, and knight to e8. All right. So yeah, immediate f5 was definitely interesting. Deserved serious attention. But well, I don't know. D takes e5. I think f takes here. E takes d4. E takes d7. What is this? Really hard to understand, but I think white should be better after all. Yeah, that's for sure. If I take with the queen, then queen takes c7. Bishop takes g2 gives me nothing because of king g2. Yeah, if I take on e7, rook e7, let's say this endgame is just disastrous, right? G takes here, bishop takes here. It's a pair of bishops. Well, material is even, but yeah, white's pieces are much better here, so should be winning for white. Yeah, so f5 immediately was really cool, I guess. If knight takes e5, then anyway, takes e6. It's even possible after knight e5, I guess, to go away with the bishop just to save this bishop on the board. e6 is still hanging, right? Yeah. Yeah, position looks not good for black. Well, this is very annoying to play, especially having no time, something like that. But definitely, if you play e5, you need a follow-up, so you have to keep attacking. Otherwise, there is a big risk of just finding yourself absolutely ruined a bit later, because e5 is a concession. e5 just gives me the diagonal a8 h1, it weakens f5 and so on. So if I had the time to play g6 knight g7 and consolidate my position, then I'm no worse. Maybe I'm in a bit better. So I don't know. After e5 f5 should have been played, I think, something like that. No idea. So position was very complicated, but still, yeah, interesting game. Okay, crowning student, accept. So it's loading. It is loading, but, well, I don't know why it is so slow. Have no idea. Yeah, it's here. And I'm black again. What the hell? Anyways, let's go. Go Kramnik student. Go Kramnik student. It's your move now. Kramnik student says game is not loading, but it is already loaded. Okay, e4. Let's play g6. Keep experimenting. All right. King's Indian defense. Okay. Or maybe not. F4. Wow. Kramnik student wants to tear me apart, I think. That's okay. White has a strong pawn center. So let's try to undermine it somehow. It gives me no chance to do that. It gives me no chance. Prophylaxis. So b5 sacrificing something, but doesn't feel like it's good. Okay, so probably white wants to play e5 here already. But after e5 I have knight e8, pawn on e5 is hanging, so maybe it forces white to take on d6, which is good for me. But I can't see just a normal move for black, except for knight e8, knight c7, can just trying to play b5. So let's play knight e8 anyway. Maybe I can try e6 here. No, e6 doesn't look good. So let's play knight c7. I control e5 at very least. So e5 is prevented. Okay. Maybe I can play b5 next move. Why not? Let's try it. So my pawn will be captured this way. True. But now at least I have the b file open, right? So some counterplay is coming. But position is of course a bit annoying because you have less space. Okay, queen c2 protecting b2 pawn and preparing the development of the bishop c1. Apparently. So how to play this shit? I don't know. I need something on b4, or I have to undermine the center somehow, because yeah, probably e6 is a move here, because I have nothing better. So let's just undermine the center. Let's try to take on d5 to have some new squares for my pieces. So if white will take with the pawn on d5, then f5 will be possible for my bishop. If cd5, then b5 square is okay for my knight. All right, so knight f6. Now white is still better. White is still better. All right, this gives me f5 square. Let's occupy it. I have to take, I guess. Otherwise there will be no time for it. And now let's try to do something with the e4 square. So simple attack. Yeah, it works. It just works. Why not? I guess I have nothing better than knight e4, but it looks so dangerous to give up a dark squared bishop in such a situation. But I can't see anything better anyway. And I have only 1 minute on the clock. Come on! I'm going to lose another game to Kramnik Student. What the hell is going on in my life? Of course I will be happy if Kramnik Student will crush me, but it starts being really a tradition. Not a very good one for me. Oh, only 1 minute on the clock. And Kramnik Student has to. Let us take it. Oh, b4. What is going on? Very sharp position. Well, at least it was. Now I have 2 extra pawns, but no time. That's a shame. Good coordination of pieces. Yeah, I won, but that was just a challenge. That was just something. That was just something. Okay. Whew. Yeah. Crazy game. Just a crazy game. I guess white was better at some point. But I do believe that, well, one of the conceptual mistakes was to play a5. Yep. So just the point of that, at the moment, black has no counterplay. So b5 square is so great controlled that I can't play b5. Well, at least I have to sacrifice a material or to give up my dark squared bishop on c3 to do that working. But all this looks just bad for black. So I have no space. I have no proper coordination. So it was just better for white, I think, just to play something like bishop e3, gradually preparing the rook e1 and e5. So maybe just queen c2, you know. Queen c2, bishop d2, another rook to e1, bishop back to c1, bishop to d3, then e5. Something like this. So this looked very nice. After a5, I just got some chances. Takes, queen c2, e6, and takes on d5. So I definitely have some chances. White is still better, but I think, again, following the same pattern, the same idea of just squeezing black, it was better to leave me without this bishop f5 possibility. Just to play bishop d3, let's say. Preventing bishop f5. That was very nice for white. So white is still better. White is still better here, I do believe. More space, better pieces, better pawn structure, and so on. So when you have this sort of situation, when you have the advantage in space, right? You have to do everything to prevent your opponent from simplification, so prevent exchanges, because the more pieces he has, the harder it is for him to coordinate them, right? That's the point of the advantage in space, and it is easier for you to coordinate your pieces, to maneuver them, because you simply have more squares to occupy. That's the point. But when you gave me a chance to play this bishop f5, yeah, takes, I feel more or less fine. Okay, so I guess this position is sort of equal, but still you found a great resource. So f5, bishop takes g7, king takes g7. So somewhere here, I'm not sure that f takes g6 was in time, and I'm not sure which move was better. Maybe just rook to e1. I mean a1 to e1, attacking my knight and forcing it back to f6, then maybe pinning the knight with the queen c3 move. So you have to find here something tricky, because f takes g6 just give me this resource of f7, f5, and I guess after that, again, I'm more or less fine. So at least I have easy play. So f takes g6 was probably not that cool. So maybe rook e1 here, just having this pawn as a resource for better attack in the future. Do know, very complicated position. Thanks a lot for this game. That was real challenge. Okay. Let's keep playing. So the I is the next challenger. Here we go. And there is a problem with loading each and every game now. I'm not sure what is the problem, my internet connection or something else. Rook e1, knight f2, rook takes f2, and the rook on e1 is protected. That is the answer to Kramnik student. Yeah. Yeah. What is going on to this? I don't understand. Is it something to my internet connection, or is it just a problem with the server? I don't know. Yeah, but Azurmist says chess 24 is slow right now. Here we go. Okay. Eye in the sky. Come on. Here we go, here we go. But it doesn't look that we go, actually. F4, all right. Knight f6. The bird opening, right? Right. D5, it's like reversed Dutch. Yep. And the stone wall is probably prepared here. Okay. Let's wait for it. I wanted my bishop on f5, that's why I played h6. But it's a stupid move, of course. Of course it's not necessary to play h6 here. I just want to try. No stonewall, come on. Why not? Just wanted to play against stonewall. With the knight on c3 there is no stonewall. So I control e4 square now. Sort of achievement maybe. But let's get to e4 somehow. That is the main goal, main target. How to do that? It's possible to exchange knight c3 somehow, right? Bishop b4. But I don't want to give up my bishop for this knight. Okay, let's try to develop my pieces first of all. And then we will see. Knight to e5. g4 is coming or what? Yeah, g4 can be played. That's true. Okay. What? No, it's definitely not good. Because this knight was great. No. It is not how it should be played. So now look at this e4 square, look at this e3 pawn. So white actually exchanged best pieces. Best pieces. Black should be dominating this position. Let's start the attack. Let's start the attack on the queen side. It's mainly the idea of occupying e4 with the knight. a3 creating the hook. Usually you shouldn't play on the side where your opponent attacks. At least you have to avoid making such a move. Like a3, because look, now it's much easier for me to open up files there. So a3 doesn't really stop me from playing b4. I just have to make one more preparing move. Come on, what is with my pronunciation today? I'm speaking like an idiot. All right, maybe I do this each and every show. I don't know. Only you know that. Well, let's get rid of this bishop. For the sake of opening the position on the queen side. And the knight dominates. There should be checkmate on b1, I guess. So let's play queen b7. Yeah, queen b1 is the next one. All right. Fuchs asks me, Andre, is your German teacher from Saxonia? No. No, definitely not. All right, so here, white actually spoiled everything with 2 moves only. So the first was knight to d7. So never ever exchange your good pieces for opponent's bad pieces. So your knight on e5 is just something you can be proud of. So never exchange such a knight. Just wait until black will exchange it, or try to kick it away with the help of f6 mainly. It is done. But in this particular case, it will lead to the weakening of the position. So knight e7, the first move, and the second, of course, bishop takes f5. Come on, I actually played e6 to protect my bishop to have this transformation possible. Because after e takes f5, my e file is open, so I have the direct access to your e3 pawn, which is a typical weakness here, and it just increases my control over important squares like e4 and g4 and so on. So bishop f5 is also a bad move, and you can also think it the following way. So not only which pieces to exchange or not, like, well, I have this one good and you have this one bad, so I have to avoid exchanging my good piece for your bad piece. Much more interesting approach is just to imagine which pieces you have after exchanges. So the rest of pieces should be compared as well. You can compare the rest of pieces, I mean minor pieces, bishop d2 and knight c3 to my bishop d6 and knight f6. You don't have to analyze the position for hours to understand that my pieces are much more active than yours. Especially your bishop d2 is very bad, limited with own pawns. So you have to avoid playing with such a material relation, right? So it's absolutely not good. No perspectives, nothing, absolute. So position is just lost strategically already. Only after 2 moves. That was a disaster. All right, anyway. Yeah. Keep training, challenges. So by the way, there is a still challenge from I. That's very strange. But the next one is Trollfjord Paddler. Accept. And looks like it will be just loading for ages. Yeah. Definitely not very fun, of course, but I can't, unfortunately, change anything with this. So now it's loading, and I do hope in several seconds it will be loaded. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. Look at this. Looks like a flipping board activity, but in fact it is just a slow start of the next game. My goodness. Yeah. We all have these crappy days. Alright. Is it starting or not? Please. Yeah, good. Let's do it. I think it will be Petrov defense. Right? Right. Okay, let's do something crazy. I mean, there will be bishop b4 move, right? Let's take on e5. And queen to d3. Protecting e4. And now bishop d2. Yeah, looks fine. Looks just fine. Protecting e4, maybe intending to play e5. But my main idea is, of course, to play queen g3 and bishop d3. Why am I playing so fast? Because I saw a very good game on this topic. Just the game between Rublevsky and Onishuk from 1994. So, just a3. Wasn't necessary, but I don't want to lose even a pawn here. And that's the look of someone who hates the Petrov. Well, I don't hate it, but I have a mixed feeling. Alright, bishop d3. So now I have almost everything prepared for the attack. So let's do the attack. So f5. No, I want to play e5. But e5 gives d5 square. So f5 followed by bishop g5. No, not really cool. So let's see how to do this correctly. If I play knight to d5, there is bishop d2 check. So maybe I have to spend the time on king b1 move, so that knight e5 will be sort of threat. Right? Right. Let's do it. Can I play knight e5 now? Bishop takes d5, e takes d5. Attacking the queen. That should be okay. If knight takes d5, then bishop takes a5. Also cool. Yeah. Now I'm satisfied. with the position. But of course there is a possibility to sacrifice the material like bishop takes d5, e d5, bishop d2, rook e7, rook e7 to play this one. I think it is the best chance for black. It might be annoying, of course, for white. But okay, extra queen is the extra queen, after all. Yeah. That was predicted. That was predicted. So how to play this now? Extra queen. Well, not extra queen, of course, but queen for the rook and the minor piece. Can I attack this bishop now? Does it make sense? Not quite sure, but let's try. We have opposing colored bishops, right? So I have to keep attacking. So let's do it. Just g4, g5. Natural attacking idea. '94. So there might be a simplification, of course. After bishop takes e4, rook takes e4. There is also a possibility maybe to play f5 first. Just to see how it works with the idea of f6 maybe. Let's try this. Yeah, f6, natural idea. Okay, let's take it. So now what? Now what to do? Where are opponent's weaknesses? Bishop to e1. Not that simple, to be honest. Not that simple. So where to break through? So definitely I have to do something connected with the g5, but it doesn't feel like a very simple plan. Alright, let's go away from this annoying check first of all. This is another weakness, so maybe it's not that bad for me. Some rook lifts. Not that simple. Not simple at all. Okay, let's do this. Traps my queen, of course. But maybe it's not that bad. Let's come up with a breakthrough. That's important. Yep. "45 seconds. What about this? Is it a good idea? Does it make sense? It looks like that because g7 is now heading. g7 is now heading. And if takes f6, queen f6 takes d4. Otherwise, well, I just take on g7. And then f7, f8, almost automatically. Nice tactics, by the way. Yeah. So, not that bad game, to be honest. So, quite complicated one. Especially after this bishop takes d2. Just sacrificing the queen for the rook and the pawn. Because otherwise, it is just an easy play for white. So, takes here. The opening stage was quite typical. Queen g3 and bishop e6. Well, maybe not a bad move. At least I failed to find anything concrete against it. So f5 followed by bishop g5 was possible here, by the way. Maybe it was a bit better, but then I just lose the e5 square. Maybe f5 followed by bishop h6. Also an interesting idea, honestly. That I just didn't analyze properly. I don't know. I just wanted to complete the development with normal moves. Bishop d3. Now I want to play e5. King b1, b5. Yeah, maybe here e5 was better than knight d5 immediately, because now we can see that knight d5 is prevented. So e5 starts making sense. So it takes e5. Let's say it takes e5, where the knight goes. Knight e5 is not possible because if knight takes d5, so knight d7. But knight d7 looks very dubious, I don't know. Bishop g5 followed by bishop f6 is the one idea. Another idea is still to play knight d5, having pair of bishops now, avoiding this sacrifice. Oh, the queen. Bishop g5 looks very good. Right, followed by queen h4 or bishop f6 or knight e4, knight f6. Yeah, it looks like very simple attack for white. Yeah, definitely e5 was better. Definitely e5 was better than knight to d5, because knight e5 definitely gave black a chance to do this. So bishop d5, e d5, very nice. Bishop takes d2, rook e7, and oh, not that simple for white. Not that simple if compared to everything else. But in general, this line is dubious. I mean, in the view of this queen d3 move, I think it's very, very nice idea. So to prepare castling lawn, right? So everything is more or less forced here. Castles. Yeah. Good bishops, good pawn structure, very simple plan of attack on the king side for white. So, all right. Next one is Carl Nering. I just accept. But again, I'm sure there will be a great delay. No, it started working better. That's cool. That's cool. So now, starting from this game, we will go faster. That is very nice. All right, Carl, you're welcome. Your turn to move. Here we go, come on. It started quickly. Why don't you make a move? All right, e4. Let's play knight f6. Knight c3. Okay, d5 then. It's a good version of Scandinavia, because now white has no resource to challenge my queen. Very good. All right. Fighting for central squares. d4 is hanging. Now, what about e5? Just undermining everything. Knight takes e5, bishop e2. Okay. This looks very natural. Oh, c3. Let's capture it. Check. My pieces are all in the game. That's the main idea behind the opening, right? So what about d4? It looks very delicious. Knight on d2 is lost. Or queen on e2 is lost. That's it. So, in general, this approach is not good. So, some people play knight c3 against knight f6, that's for sure. But after d5, this double exchange on d5 is definitely not cool. Because I just achieved a better version, much better version of the Scandinavian with the queen d5, when white has no knight to challenge my queen with knight c3 move. So actually I have very good developed centralized queen here, right? So, yeah, that's the point. So taking on d5 is not a good idea in general. So it's better to play e5 here. Of course, after d4, white probably has nothing. White was still better than taking on d5, because d5 completely justifies black's opening setup. So as we can see after this exchange on d5, then knight c6, I just have very simple development. I already want to play e5. By the way, maybe instead of knight c6, e5 was a bit more accurate move, just grabbing the space. But alright, even this looks very cool. Yeah. So maybe it was better for you just to play something like, I don't even know, if you play c3 anyway, I do the same. I just castle, I play e5. I'm quite quick, so I have simply better development. As we can see, all of a sudden black has like an upper hand in development. So black's every move is kind of new threat, right? So it feels like black plays with white pieces. That's very strange feeling, but it's true, because black is better in the sense of development here. That's the point. All right. Against knight f6, of course, on the first move, the best reply is just to play e5, grabbing the space and occupying the center and so on. Okay. Let's go further. The next is, okay, Hume is offline. So Smox 2006, right? Accept. And again, we have this slow scenario. Why? Just tell me why. It worked so fine against Carl. And now again the same. Alright, we're waiting. My goodness. It's annoying today. Well, it's down. It doesn't even load the game. I mean, the system is broken completely, or what? Accept. Yeah, it feels like we're just wasting the time. I mean, the time is melting. And it's not loading. Even not loading, come on. There are so many challengers. So many different challenges. But some of them are doubled. So there is a complete system collapse. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Okay, let's try to refresh the page. I have a feeling that will just completely break everything. I don't even know what to do. I can't accept because I already accepted. What challenge? Okay, great. So e4. I suspect there will be c5 or something. Yeah, it's even possible, you know, to fall asleep. Yeah, waiting for everything to die. Like just waiting for the start of every single game, starting from the game number. I don't even remember the number of the game when these problems first showed up, but yeah, it's really annoying in a psychological sense. I mean, my friend, are you going to play or you're already sleeping? Simon Muggleton. C5. All right, let's do it. But when it starts, it goes very fast. Very nice. So this fashionable way of playing the knight earth. Okay, so what to do here? Let's try a5. I have no idea what am I doing here. So it all looks like something very, very fresh. I have never seen this before. Let's put the bishop on c4 even. Might be interesting. Black is definitely ready to play b5, right? Yeah, that's for sure. How to prevent that? Maybe just to play queen to d3 and then b5 just to take on b6 and then to take on a6, right? Right, let's try it. There is no chat, by the way. So the chat is dead. Everyone is sleeping, I guess. And now very interesting transformation. I can take on f6 and play knight d5. I can do queen g3 here, but then knight h5 is annoying. Queen f3, also not that great. Alright, I'll just take on f6. So d5 square looks very tempting to occupy with almost every piece. With the queen, with the bishop, with the knight. Everything looks very fine. Very fine. No one says that. Of course, I know. It's late. It was so boring to wait until the start of the game. So I forgot English even. So let's put the bishop here. I think it's not the best piece. It's not the bad piece to start with on this square. Now I want to play something like queen c4. Bishop e6. Alright, after exchange on d5, my knight will occupy d5. I can also just take on d6 now. Oh, sorry, e6 now. But then queen takes d3, bishop takes f7, gives me an extra pawn, I guess. So if he takes with the pawn, it will just an awful pawn structure. Yep, why not? But okay, let's just castle. I will be completely satisfied if the bishops will be just exchanged on d5, giving me this dominating knight on d5. Against the bishop, which is limited with own pawns. So well, if the next game will be loading the same, like this one, I'll die, simply. But okay, what can I do? What can I do? Nothing. Alright, queen c4, it's time to occupy this extremely promising position with the queen attacking c5, supporting the bishop, well, blockading c5 and doing a lot of important stuff. Queen takes c5 is already possible, but I'm focused on just improving positions of my pieces. Because taking on c5 at least gives black some diagonals, some squares to play. Now I take with the rook. I think it's better than taking with the knight. In this particular case, I attack the queen, I attack the pawn c5, I prepare another rook to occupy d-file. So d1 square is here to help me with this stuff. But first, black has to find a good square with the queen, right? Alright. Queen e6. Should I take on c5 with the rook? Yeah, it looks fine. Or should I just keep playing with my heavy pieces along the d-file? Also looks fine. I don't even know what to do here. So everything looks very tempting. Knight a4 is also interesting move, just preventing b5, b6 and intending to take on c5 with the knight. Let's do exactly this. I do like ideas, yeah, leading to squeezing my opponent rather than winning some material. Oh, b5, presenting me a pawn. Okay. Thank you. Rook to c8. c5 is still hanging, but I'll just put my rook on d1. a6 is also pain. Well, I said also pain. Yeah, it's pain. It's definitely pain for black. But I wanted to say it's hanging. What the hell is going on, huh? Okay, let's protect my queen, just in case. Just in case I want my rook d5 going somewhere. So, let it be protected. Okay, not a bad idea. G5. Desperation, I guess. That's a desperation. Isn't it a good moment just to take on a6? I don't know. Then c4, something not very clear. Alright, let's keep squeezing black. Let's grab this queen. Every move is like a surprise to me. I just do not expect all these maneuvers. But okay. Alright, so let's go back to the opening stage a bit. So knight f6, a6 here. Well, probably after knight b3, e5 is not that logical decision, because e5 usually played just to attack the knight in d4, and e5 just gives white a lot of different opportunities, but it doesn't mean well, it is not playable, so e5 is just normal. Bishop g5, bishop e7, a4, knight e7, everything was fine. Maybe here after a4, knight e7 and a5. Right, maybe knight e7 is not necessary. Maybe just to start with bishop e6, I think. That was quite, yeah. I can't actually make this move. Bishop e6, look at this. I can't make moves on the board. Oh, now I can. Okay. So bishop e6, yeah. Bishop e6, and then knight e7. That was much more logical approach in my opinion. Looks very sound. Knight e7 just gives your bishop no chances to be developed quickly, and this means you have to damage your pawn structure somehow. Well, especially knight c5, I don't like this decision, because after that, look, your bishop f6 has no perspectives at all, while I have this great outpost on d5. After that, actually, white's position is strategically winning, I think. So it was still possible to play it a bit better, maybe just to play b6 as soon as possible, having at least this open b file, trying these ideas like rook b4, d4 after that. So you need some dynamics, because just waiting here won't help you, because I gradually improve my position, just yeah, change pieces on d5 square and squeeze black. Yeah, so it was necessary to find something really quick and active. That was the last chance. All right, anyways, thanks for the game. And now I can't accept other challenges. I have no idea. I have no idea why, actually. So I finished this game, right? And I can't accept the next one. It's really, really bad. Something really bad happens to you. To chess 24 this night. So I will try to refresh the page. I know that it might be a suicide. But I can't see a better decision. I simply can't see a better decision. My goodness, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Nothing works properly today. Yeah, and there is a discussion in chat about my game against Craig Evans. That's true. I was outplayed. That's for sure. I could have played better, I think, but I just... Oh, very nice. Very nice. What happened? What can I do? Oh my goodness. All right. Let's go here. I still have challenges. That is important, right? Let's go to lobby. I'm not sure it will work, but as you can see, I tried to do my best. To keep playing because I want to play at least one more game. But now I can't even see challenges. No, I can. All right. That is very nice. So, Horchi82. Horchi82, I can accept now. Let us accept. Please load it. My goodness. Yeah, does it work? Yeah, it works. All right. Here we go. I came back to 2900s. So you have a chance to, yeah, to force me back. Yeah. As far as I remember, Horchi said at the very beginning of the show that he's going to bed. But Trollfjord Paddler stopped him from doing it. He said everything depends on when you made your challenge. And true, as you can see. I guess we have never played, right? But your photo looks very familiar, so I think we met in real life. Somewhere in Gütersloh, maybe. During the tournament. So you're welcome, you can make a move, I think. I'm waiting today. Because usually I just abort the game in such a situation, but of course it's not a correct move today to abort the game, because well, it's loading like for several minutes, and well, no surprises that it also takes time to make the first move. Horchi82, come on, please. Just tell me you're online still, huh? If you're not, it will be just, you know what, right? Because we're all waiting. Are you here, my friend? No? Right, if I will abort it, there will be, I think, I don't know, 5 minutes to stop this game and 5 minutes to start another one. It will be just too much. I mean, I made a great bet already. So I can't go out. Please. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Come on. Stop it. Yeah, boards, well, quite fast, right? It was quite fast aborted. So one more game, please. Let's do this. So challenges. I can't see challenges here. My gosh. What happened? What happened to chess 24 today? Oh, of course notifications also don't work. So challenges. There is a delay in chat as well, as I can see. one more time. No, this doesn't work. Let's say from here. Please show me the challenges. No, it doesn't work. You see, guys, I just try to do everything, but it doesn't work. Okay, so sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. I can't do anything with this. So I can't even see the challenges. That's the problem. So a great delay each and every game, and so on. Yeah. It's not possible to continue. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that, but I can't do anything. All right. Anyways, we had a longer session. Well, of course, it was longer, mainly because of these delays, right? But I still hope that it was useful for you. I still hope it was instructive in many cases. So I still hope my explanations, of course, were worse than usual because I was a bit distracted with all this technical stuff. But I still hope that it was more or less fine, right? To force you to be better a bit, so to make you a bit better, to help you with the understanding of some specific things, right? So everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome to the next episode of Training Tuesday next Tuesday. Well, everybody means everybody who is a premium user. So this is a closed show only for premium users. As for next Friday, there will be also late Friday night's Banter Blitz. And I do hope everything will be fine with the technical side of the deal. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel. All right, there you can find a lot of interesting stuff. And starting from the next week, there will be more. Thanks a lot for your attention. Thanks a lot for your patience. Wish you a nice weekend. Take care. Bye bye.